back in 2010, if you went into the shop and bought ImagineFX, you would get that cover. If you were a subscriber, you'd get that cover. Now how different is that? Hello, this is Sophie Lawson, sophielawson.com, and this is another Click Look video where we quickly look at various art books and magazines. And today little Willie the Wolf is with us. We don't see much of the Willie, he seems to be hiding a lot, but he's here today to help us look at this. And what we're going to, well, I'm currently sorting out all of my ImagineFX magazines. And what I've done is I've put together some of the duplicates, which are actually, one is the regular cover and one is the subscriber. And I'm actually going to just talk about how these issues have changed over the years. Because in the old days, in the good old days, what used to happen was you would get two completely different covers. Whereas now, what they do now is you get the same cover, it's just one's covered in text and one's covered in nothing but the artwork. So I always feel like, for me, I feel like it's worth subscribing to ImagineFX magazine just for this cover. I think look how beautiful that looks. And look at that, I mean, it's still beautiful like that, but all of that text just takes away from the beauty. So I'll look at that one in a minute, but what I thought I'd do is I'd actually start with going back in time. So back in the year 2010, what used to happen in 2010 was they used to, if you got a subscriber issue, so these two issues here are the same issue. This is actually issue 57, June 2010. So have a look at that, look. Back in 2010, if you went into the shop and bought ImagineFX, you would get that cover. If you were a subscriber, you'd get that cover. Now how different is that? What I love about this though, with the subscriber issue, if you flipped it over, look, you would get the regular cover. Now I thought that was brilliant. I really thought that was brilliant. I don't know why they stopped doing that, but have a look at this. If you get the subscriber issue, well, what they did was, now, because they're the same, if you flip it over, you get an advert. Do you get the same advert? Yeah, you get the same advert. But there was a phase, I don't know when it was, probably 2012 or something. What they did was, if you got the subscriber issue, it would be, there was a period of about 3 or 4 issues where the subscriber and the regular issue were different covers, but if you flipped it over, they stopped doing that. And then there was a period right at the very beginning where they didn't do this. So I don't know why they stopped doing that, but I think for me that was the best. This was the best period, I think, for the covers, because you got a beautiful cover if you was a subscriber, but you also got to have the regular cover as well. So you sort of got the best of both worlds there. So look at this. Look, this is actually when I first met the artist Lewis Royo, June 2010. I've fallen in love with this artist. So for me, this one, the subscriber issue is so much more beautiful than the regular one. And the thing that's also weird is if you go inside, when they talk about the cover artist, they're talking about the cover artist from the regular issue, which always confused me a little bit. So that was that one. We got this one here, look, which this was the, what was this one? Issue 56. So again, that one is just way more beautiful for me. And then we've got this one. Oh, and this is the other thing as well. Again, if you flipped it, you would get the regular cover on there, and they were still doing that on this one as well. But again, look how much more special this one feels. So for me, it's quite amazing how different the covers were back in the old days. That was quite surprising to me. Whereas nowadays, what you get now is you get this beautiful cover, which is just the artwork, and you get the messy regular cover. So what it means for me is I think they've simplified it a bit for themselves, because now The only thing they've got to change is actually the front cover. The back is the same. So I feel like they probably did it for cost saving measures, I reckon. That's what I'm thinking. But so the first thing is that white border there. The whole thing is just getting, the image is just, the artwork is actually getting sort of compromised in the regular version. Even though it still looks beautiful, it's just weird, isn't it? That's it really. I thought this was quite interesting to see how, I thought it would be interesting to compare the two side by side, and also to see how it's sort of changed over the years. So it started out with, there was a period where you would get a special cover, but you would get nothing on the back. And then they went through the phase of getting both the covers in one issue, which for me was the best. But I'm not sure whether I liked it like that or whether I like it like this. I think I sort of like it like this, because what happened here was, there was a few issues during this phase where you got a completely different cover. There was a few issues where I actually preferred the regular cover. And they went through a phase where you didn't get the regular cover on the back. So there was a potential to get the subscriber issue and actually prefer the regular cover and not have it. So it was a bit weird how they sort of, I feel like they were just experimenting to see what worked and stuff. But I think this is probably, I'm not sure. What do you think? Do you think it's better to have both the regular and the subscriber issues have the same cover, or do you think it's better to have a special cover just for the subscriber? I think that only works if you get the regular one on the back. That's what I think. So that's basically it for this one. I hope you enjoyed that. Please let me know what you think, because I'm quite curious about this. For me, because I remember reading one of the letters when ImagineFX was going through this phase of experimenting with how they were doing these things. I remember reading a letter where somebody said they didn't like having the regular cover because they found it confusing. And I wonder whether a lot of people complained about it and that actually stopped them doing it. Because that would be very disappointing, I think, because there might have been loads of people who loved it but didn't say anything. And like what often happens, the people who are negative will say something and they'll actually change it, when in actual fact most people would have liked to have kept it. That's just what I'm thinking. But the other thing is, this is one of my favourite covers actually. Of all the issues I've looked at so far, this is still one of my favourites. It's brilliant. I'm actually tempted to keep these two issues, just so that I've got sort of, there's something kind of cool actually about having both the versions like that. But I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you later for another one. Put me really away now.